Disclaimer: this story contains mature themes intended for adult viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Her fingers brushed his thigh, slow, teasing, like she knew exactly what it did to him. The room was dark except for the soft flicker of the screen. Movie credits rolled lazily, casting shadows across their quiet living room. She shifted beside him on the couch, close, too close for it to be innocent anymore. His arm draped over her shoulder had started as casual, but now his thumb was tracing lazy circles on her skin, just under the strap of her tank top. It wasn't about the movie. It never was. She could feel the warmth radiating off him, that low buzz of something unspoken simmering between them. The kind that builds slowly all evening through shared glances, hushed laughter, stolen brushes of skin that lingered longer than they should have. "You're not even watching," she whispered, lips barely grazing the curve of his jaw. His smirk gave him away. "Neither are you." She bit her lip and moved, the soft cotton of her shorts catching slightly as she climbed onto his lap, straddling him with a playful grin. Their bodies fit like a secret. Her hands slid into his hair as his breath caught, both of them holding that quiet, charged space between touch and tension. "I missed you today," she murmured, hips shifting just enough to make him feel her need. "I can tell." She leaned in, heart pounding, lips brushing his ear as her fingers trailed down his chest. "So, what are you gonna do about it?" But just as his hands gripped her waist tighter, just as the moment coiled into something deeper, he froze. Not with hesitation, with decision. And in that exact second, the soft music from the credits faded. The room held its breath. What happened next wasn't rushed. It was slow, intimate, a response to everything unsaid between them since morning. Because sometimes love speaks loudest in silence, and in the way two people fall into each other like gravity. And that's where our story begins. His fingers moved slow against her lower back, like he was memorizing her shape all over again. "You always do this," he said, voice husky near her ear. "Do what?" she asked, feigning innocence as her hips pressed forward just a little, testing him. "This." His lips brushed her jaw. "Wreck my focus. Say 2 words and suddenly, I can't think." She smirked, tracing the curve of his neck with her lips. "Maybe I don't want you to think tonight." He let out a low laugh, head falling back for a second before meeting her gaze again, eyes darker now, full of something deeper than just desire. "You always know when I need this, like you're inside my head." Her expression softened. She did know. That quiet storm behind his calm smile, the one he never talked about. She felt it tonight more than usual. He hadn't said anything, but his touch was different, heavier. Like he was holding onto her tighter because something was slipping. "You okay?" she asked softly, resting her forehead against his. He hesitated, just long enough to confirm what she already knew. "I'm with you," he replied, deflecting with a kiss to her shoulder. "That's all I need right now." She wanted to believe that, wanted to let the moment carry them away. But the weight in his silence, the way his hands trembled slightly as they roamed her waist, it told another story. "Talk to me," she whispered, threading her fingers through his. "You're here, but you're not here." He kissed her again, deeper this time, full of everything he couldn't say. And for a moment, that kiss became the answer. But when he pulled back, there it was, the flicker of something behind his eyes. He trailed off, looking down. "There's something I haven't told you." Her breath caught, body still wrapped around his, warmth shared but suddenly edged with cold. She searched his face, heartbeat loud in her ears. "Tell me now," she said. He opened his mouth, then stopped. The moment paused, teetering between closeness and chaos. And, just like that, the soft hum of the paused TV faded into the background. Nothing mattered now but the space between his truth and her trust. Her fingers froze mid-stroke against his chest. That pause, too long, too loaded, spoke louder than any confession. "You haven't told me, what?" she asked again, quieter this time. Not accusing, just afraid. He didn't meet her eyes. His hand found the small of her back, grounding them both in a moment that suddenly felt fragile. I've been thinking about something, he said slowly. Something I'm not sure you'll understand. She tilted her head, searching his face. Try me. He sighed, then finally looked at her, really looked. That night, when we went to Ria and Ion's, the way you looked at him. Her heart skipped. What? You laughed at his jokes, he said, a trace of heat under his calm. Touched his arm. And he looked at you like he knew something about you I didn't. Her brows furrowed, a mix of shock and something else, something buried. She sat back just slightly, still on his lap, still close, but no longer moving. You think I wanted him? He didn't answer. That silence was enough. A pulse beat between them. Not of desire now, but of tension, jealousy, the kind that simmers beneath years of trust. Then she smiled softly, dangerously. You're jealous. He blinked. Wouldn't you be? Instead of pulling away, she leaned closer again. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Is that why you've been holding me tighter lately? Touching me like you're trying to remind me who I belong to? He swallowed hard. Do I need to? A spark lit in her eyes. Maybe I wanted you to notice. That changed everything. His breath caught, hands now gripping her thighs, anchoring her to him. Why would you do that? He asked, voice low. She traced his jaw, teasing. Because sometimes you forget how much I still want you. He exhaled, eyes darkening. You play dangerous games. She grinned, pressing her body closer again. Only with you. But neither of them admitted what they both now felt, the shift. Was it just jealousy? Or something deeper, unspoken? The way Ion looked at her, the flicker of something she never mentioned. She kissed him again, slow and sweet, but underneath it all was a storm waiting to break. And neither of them knew just how far this little game would go. His fingers slid under the hem of her tank top, knuckles grazing skin he knew too well, yet tonight, it felt new. Electrified. Her breath hitched, and her hips instinctively shifted against him, searching for more, for answers, for control. But he wasn't giving her any. You really wanted me to notice, he said, voice low against her throat. I did, she whispered, threading her fingers through his hair again. You've been too calm lately. Too safe. He smirked, brushing his lips along her collarbone. So you thought jealousy would wake me up? It did, didn't it? She murmured, guiding his hand higher, slow, daring. His fingers flexed around her waist. You don't play fair. Neither do you, she whispered, eyes dark with something between challenge and desire. You think I didn't see the way Ria touched your arm? The way you didn't move away? His breath faltered. That pause gave him away. I didn't think you noticed, he admitted. I notice everything, she said. I always have. Their kiss exploded then, urgent, messy, filled with all the words they hadn't said. Her back arched into him, his hands everywhere at once, and for a moment, it was only heat and breath and the crashing need of two people trying to drown the truth in each other. But the air shifted when his phone buzzed on the table behind her. Neither of them moved. They just stared at each other. She was still wrapped around him. He was still holding her like she was the only thing that could anchor him. But something was about to crack. Is it her? She asked softly, voice barely above a whisper. His jaw clenched. Don't do that. You said there was something you hadn't told me, she continued. So tell me, is it about Ria? His silence screamed. Her heart pounded so loud it drowned out the room. She leaned back slightly, blinking through the burn in her chest. Tell me the truth, she said. Before I decide to lie to myself again. He looked at her, truly looked, like he was about to say something that would change everything. But the door creaked, and Ria's voice echoed from the hallway. Hey, did I leave my scarf here? They froze. The storm had arrived. Her voice, Ria's, hung in the air like smoke. But neither of them moved. Not yet. He was still holding her, his hands now tense against her waist, her breath tangled with his. Her body was pressed to him like she belonged there, and maybe she did, but this moment had shifted into dangerous, delicious territory. A collision of betrayal, need, and heat. Ria called out again, hello. She was closer. The hallway wasn't far. One turn, and she'd see everything. Still, his eyes stayed locked on hers. "Do we stop?" he whispered. She didn't answer. Not with words. Her fingers gripped the back of his neck, pulled his mouth to hers like it was the last time, like she didn't care who walked in. It was deep, raw, messy. The kind of kiss that said more than any fight ever could. She tasted anger, want, heartbreak, all of it in that one breathless second. He groaned against her lips. "This is insane." "And you love it," she whispered back, hips shifting again, slow and deliberate. His hand slid up her back, under her shirt this time, tracing her spine like it was the only truth he trusted. Their foreheads pressed together, panting, hearts pounding. Ria's footsteps got louder. "I left it in the living room, I think." They could hear her now, so close it made their pulse double. And still, they didn't stop. Instead, she pulled his shirt halfway up, nails skimming down his chest. "She'll see," she murmured. "Do you want her to?" he whispered, voice hot against her lips. A beat. "No," she breathed. "But maybe I want her to wonder." That sent a shock through him. His grip tightened, lifting her slightly, their bodies grinding together with aching slowness, just out of sight. A breath, a moan swallowed between lips, our wrist hanging like fire between them. Then footsteps paused. "Found it." Ria's voice echoed. Still unseen. Still safe for now. They didn't breathe until they heard the door click shut again. Only then did she laugh, quiet, breathless. "You were shaking." "So were you," he murmured, pushing her hair back, his eyes roaming her face like he was memorizing her all over again. "What are we even doing?" She didn't answer. Because even she didn't know. Was this revenge? A dare? Or something deeper? Then came the twist neither of them expected. A message buzzed on his phone. She glanced down. "From Ria, I left it on purpose. Just wanted to see if she'd still be here." The smile vanished from her face. Everything went still. He looked down at the screen, then back at her. "What does that mean?" Her throat went dry. "She knows." His breath hitched. "You think she saw?" "No," she said. "Worse. I think she planned this." And suddenly, the room wasn't just heavy with desire. It was surrounded by eyes. The silence between them was deafening now. Her body still wrapped around his, her breath still caught in the high of the moment, but the text on his phone had changed everything. "She planned it," she whispered again, eyes locked on the screen. "She knew we were here. Knew what we'd do." His jaw clenched. Why would she? Then it clicked. Her gaze sharpened. "She wanted you to see that message," she said slowly. "She's not jealous of me." He blinked. "Then what?" "She's jealous of us." Something in his chest cracked open. All this time, Ria's subtle comments, the glances, the lingering hugs, and the way she watched, not just her, but them together. It hadn't been about stealing anyone. It had been about wanting what they had. Or maybe, wanting in. But none of that mattered right now. Because her hands were still on him, and he was still burning with everything they hadn't said, everything that had exploded the moment they kissed like they'd been starving. "I don't care what she wants," he said, voice low and shaking. "All I want is you." Her throat tightened. That confession, raw, honest, cut through everything. And then they were kissing again. This time, it wasn't about teasing. It wasn't even about escape. It was about claiming. Her body pressed tighter, like she wanted to disappear into him. His hands roamed her like a map he knew by heart, rediscovering every curve, every breath. They were tangled, whispering each other's names between gasps, laughing between desperate kisses. He laid her back gently across the couch cushions, hovering above her, brushing hair from her face with reverence. Their foreheads touched, eyes locked, everything else vanishing. "I thought I was losing you," he murmured. "You were," she whispered. "Until you stopped pretending." His lips found hers again, deeper, and she let go completely, beautifully. They didn't just touch, they fell. All of it, the doubts, the jealousy, the heat, the ache, it poured out in their closeness, in the way they held each other like they had been waiting for this exact moment to finally be honest. And just as the passion crested, as they reached that breathless, perfect stillness, The front door creaked open. They both froze, and a familiar voice echoed down the hall. Ion left his watch here too, Ria said casually. But this time, she wasn't alone. Someone else stepped in behind her. A woman they didn't recognize. And Ria smiled. This is Maya. We've been talking about possibilities. For a moment, no one said a word. The room was still heavy with heat, skin flushed, breath uneven, hearts racing from something that had just crossed every line. But when Ria walked in, Maya trailing behind her with a soft, curious smile, it was like the world shifted again. Still, she didn't move from his arms. And he didn't let go. They just looked at each other, silent understanding between them. I didn't know what you wanted, he finally said, eyes only on her. She reached up, brushing her thumb against his cheek. I wanted you. Just you. Always have. His arms tightened around her, pulling her close again, like he needed to feel every heartbeat she gave him. Ria stepped further in, but there was no confrontation, no storm left. Just a lingering sense of something unspoken finally laid bare. I thought maybe things were too safe between us, she said gently. But now I see, you're exactly the kind of danger I needed. He smiled, that deep, crooked one that always melted her. I never wanted safe with you, he said. I wanted real. Even when it scared me. They didn't look back at Ria or Maya. Whatever they came here for didn't matter anymore. Because the only thing that mattered now was them. He kissed her again, not desperate this time, but tender. Full. His hand brushed her face like she was the only thing grounding him. And in that kiss, she felt everything: his love, his apology, his need to start again. I'm not letting you slip away, he whispered against her lips. Good, she breathed. Because I wasn't going anywhere. They stayed like that, entwined in quiet certainty. The kind that comes after fire. After truth. Let the rest of the world knock. Let the game stop here. Because they had finally found what mattered most. Not the sparks. But the home they created in each other's arms.